Hello, everyone. It's Chris Kelly here with the Fountain Report. Welcome to another Fountain Conversation. We're glad to welcome a past guest, Scott Brown, the managing partner at Velora Capital, back with us, who's here to talk about the economy, the animal health industry, and all kinds of different things. Scott, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be back.
All right, well, let's start with the big picture. How are you feeling about the U.S. economy as we wrap up 2025? What are your thoughts on overall performance and more specifically, customer sentiment?
Yeah. I think 2025 has been a very challenging year. It's been kind of an economy of paradoxes where you have the stock market at all-time highs. You've got the Magnificent Seven, just doing phenomenal, carrying the S&P 500. You've got AI kind of changing, the paradigm of how we do work and really transforming businesses. And so, from that perspective, things are going very well. You've got, there are a lot of indicators that are saying the economy is doing well. But on the other side, you have uncertainty with things like tariffs. So back at the beginning of the year, we're Trump's trying to, affect change and using tariffs as leverage to get some of the things that he wants. Those tariffs are creating uncertainty within the market, and that's leading to uncertainty. So what are companies to do? Are these going to be long term? Are they going to be short term? With the and then as you have AI, companies are adopting that. That's changing the way companies do business. So do we need as many people? Are there going to be different roles? What do we do with that? And so recently we've had, close to 200,000 layoffs within, corporate America that are, companies that are right sizing or transforming as part of AI. And then you've got the government shutdown that's impacted, 730 plus thousand people not getting paid, right? That's causing uncertainty. The people that don't have a paycheck, many of them are still working, and that's just less money that's going into the economy. So if you look at the Fed, there isn't clear consensus on how the economy is doing. There are some positive indicators, there are some negative indicators, and even within their discussions, there isn't a general consensus that, hey, we need to raise rates, for inflation, or we need to decrease rates. You've got differing opinions, so it's not clear exactly, which how things are going, because there are positive and negative indicators on both sides. So this year, I think, has been challenging. And then you have the impact of the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, and kind of the lack of data coming out, not only because of that change, but then also because of the government shutdown. So then you have companies and organizations coming up with their own data, and then there isn't consensus on the actual data, so on. So that adds to the uncertainty as well. So I think 2025 has been a challenging year in many ways. There's been some positives. So if you're invested in the stock market, your portfolio, I'm sure, has done well. Companies have done well that are capitalizing on AI and helping companies become more productive. But at the same time, with less money going into people's pockets, close to a million people, like, that's of high paying jobs. That could have a big impact. So so this year, you know, it's there have been a lot of things that have transpired. Some very positive and some negative, that have caused people to kind of pump the brakes a little bit and to make more short-term decisions and not invest as much for the long term. So companies that they've really had to double down on what they're doing well and stay focused on their core business, and not necessarily take too many risks. I think the other thing that I'd mention is that like with all those layoffs in corporate America, those are high paying jobs that are gone. But the piece that doesn't get a lot of attention in the news is that these same companies are also hiring quite a bit. So kind of transforming the roles. So they may reduce kind of legacy roles, but then on the other side, post positions for automation or AI and so on. That doesn't get as much attention. And so I think that uh, there's a big transformation going on where companies want to be more effective. They want to use these tools. They want to, um, you know, uh, you know, take advantage of that and be more productive. Get the
Yep.
ROI of this new technology. So, yeah, there's a lot going on, and so any company that's trying to navigate through this is facing a lot of challenges and a lot of uncertainty.